So why is it that analogy works? Why does it appear as though phenomena are so similar that we can compare one to another and they don't seem to be related at all? And yet through an analogy you go, oh, that's exactly what's happening. Well, it's because there's only one system. There's one singular fundamental process occurring, and that's awareness coming back onto itself. So the analogy that I'm going to use is that of a black hole. I think that's probably the most accurate physical analogy or metaphor for what's going on at the deepest levels. So the event horizon, so at the center of a black hole is the singularity. It's not a singularity. You can't have multiple singularities because then it wouldn't be a singularity, would it? So the event horizon is a very sharp, distinct dividing line between the other ofs, right? Not other thans, other ofs. So that is what divides body, mind, antimatter, matter, time, space. And if a person were to go through an event horizon, the person that's going through it wouldn't experience anything different. They wouldn't know that anything different had happened, except that when you pass that point, that time and space start mixing and everything starts unifying as it gets closer to the singularity, because it's completely unified as the singularity. So the event horizon is the point of bifurcation, right? So it's definitely on this side of it is the physical world, I guess, and on the other side is the mental world, I suppose. And again, this could also be metaphor of the body, right? The event horizon of a person is the skin, right? So there's outside and inside. And this is, and then in the middle, I guess, Ramana Maharshi said the heart center is here. And I think that a black hole is a metaphor for this, what's going on here. So where are these other, if there's one singular process going on, then this should manifest itself in different phenomena that are occurring. So it's very strange because when you pass the event horizon, time and space start mixing, right? So things become incredibly bizarre, and you don't know literally what's up and down and what's past and what's future anymore. Reality becomes very confusing and mixed up and no longer black and white. It's all just merging into gray. And that's what's happening in the human psyche and within consciousness and the physical realm. So what about the government? So obviously in this instance, the bifurcation is becoming even more stark, right? The bifurcation between the left and the right is becoming more obvious. So this is one of those cases where there's unification occurring, but yet from another perspective, there's bifurcation occurring. So there's bifurcation occurring within the thought realm, because whether you're Republican or Democrat, well, that's all just thought nonsense, isn't it? So that system of thought, which is the government, is sharply bifurcating. And then you get to the monetary system, and what's occurring there is also very bizarre, and no one can figure it out because it's a state of stagflation. And stagflation is when there's both inflation and deflation simultaneously. So in some places, prices are going way up, and in some places, prices are going to be collapsing. So this is another instant where it's the same process as going through the event horizon, because when you pass the event horizon, everything gets all jumbled up. And the money printing that's occurring is another expression of the speed, if you will, of us going rushing into the event horizon. I mean, into the singularity, because we've already passed the event horizon. And climate. Yeah, so I shouldn't skip over that so quickly, because the money printing is exponential, right? So let's say it's about speed, and the only way to break through, if you will, the speed of light is to go exponential, right? And at some point, that point being the singularity, when it does break through the speed of light, then I guess you're with God. So then there's the climate, right? So there's the two poles, and we've got very distinct weather patterns and cycles and stability. But now what's happening is that the poles are warming, and just like passing an event horizon, that bifurcation is becoming unified. So what's happening on the planet is that the temperature of the planet is going to become ubiquitous. There isn't going to be cold in the north and the south and warm in the middle. It's going to be the same temperature everywhere on the planet. Yeah, and you can imagine what that's going to do to life on the planet. So the big event horizon that occurred, especially now let's talk about the human psyche and consciousness. So the event horizon that was passed within consciousness, within your awareness, is when humans came onto the scene. And that was when thought arose within consciousness and symbol. So, and now that we're really, really getting close to the extinction event and the singularity, everything that was female and male, right? One of the most basic, fundamental systems in reality, in the physical realm, is all becoming very confused, isn't it? It's mixing. There isn't a distinct separation even between male and female anymore. So again, this is all a result of what occurred within your awareness when symbol and thought arose within consciousness. So this is why, and what about what's real? We don't even know. We can't distinguish what's real anymore. Deep fakes, we just, everything is becoming mixed up in this reunification process. So it's pretty obvious to me that we're nearing the singularity. We're getting very close to the end. And as we get closer and closer to the extinction event, all of this will become even more confusing. We won't be able to tell fact from what's made up. What is naturally occurred within the physical realm and what has been manufactured by the mind. We won't be able to tell anymore. It's getting very, very close to, you see something on a screen occurring, and there's no way to tell whether that is a recording of an actual event or if it's all manufactured within the computer itself, within the digital realm. So the digital realm is the transitional period between the two big polarities, the two big cycles, and that is physical sensations and thought. The physical realm and the mind realm. This is the big one, right? This is the big event horizon that we've passed, and the time between, the time or distance between going through the event horizon and getting to the singularity is human consciousness. That's it, right? The realm of thought and symbol is the time and space between going past the event horizon and getting to the singularity. And that's why it's exponential now. Like it's but as I said, the person that goes through the event horizon, unless they're very, very acutely aware, they won't be able to tell that anything happened. So we're going along in this crazy fucking realm, and everyone just thinks it's normal. No one really knows or is talking about how fucked up things are. But they're really fucked up, aren't they? Like, so anyway, I want to restate how important everything that you do is. It's like we're in sudden death overtime, and every single move and play that you make is of immense importance right now. So don't just fall into complacency and follow what everyone else is doing and just blindly without understanding or seeing what's occurring, just go along with the masses in complete ignorance. No, you, you'll just end up popping into the digital realm thinking that you're the hardware and software of the system, and you'll have all the same karma, just manifesting in different ways. You'll have all the same questions, all the same problems to deal with that you had in the physical realm, but now it'll be inside a freaking computer. And to me, that's a lesser experience than this. I believe that we're going from more full and complete and substantial and fulfilling experience to less and less and less and less. It's the law of diminishing returns. Is at the end, you need to take high doses of whatever it is that reaffirms your existence to reaffirm your existence. But in order to stop that process, because it's just a dog chasing his tail, you need to find the stillness. You need to find the purpose of all of this, and you need to find the self. So in order to transcend this whole process, because you, the self, is the singularity, right? You are that which doesn't move. Everything that appears and disappears does so within your awareness. So know that through all of this, you are the unmoving, unchanging potential through which all of this is happening, and you're completely, the self is completely unaffected by this if you choose to experience it that way. Just like if you're watching a movie and someone pokes a needle in the character's eye, you have the choice watching this to go, oh, right? To experience it vicariously, or to just go, to just be completely unaffected by it. That is a choice. And it's the same thing with the body, believe it or not. That a completely, fully liberated being could experience someone poking the body in the eye with a freaking needle, and they would not, it would be affected by it. Like, Ramana Maharshi had major surgery on his elbow with just local anesthesia. And the surgeon said he didn't even flinch. He said he'd never seen it in 30 years of practice, that the expression on Ramana Maharshi's face didn't even change while he was hacking out a big cancerous tumor out of his elbow. So I'm not just blah blahing, it's true. And I have had times where I have transcended physical pain as well. Not to that degree, but yes. So there's everywhere around you, if you look objectively, without ego and without trying to twist it to appear the way the ego wants it to appear, you'll be able to see all of this clearly. And the reason why people do everything that they do and why everything is happening the way it's happening will become very clear and obvious to you. There is a way to experience complete peace and actually be on the opposite side of what's happening. It's possible. All the suffering that's occurring and that will intensify within the vast majority of humanity, well, the opposite of that will be occurring within a small percentage of humanity. And that's us who practice non conceptuality.